Okay, I got about 40 cases of beer. Hopefully that should be enough.
You think everyone at the party's gonna drink that much?
Everyone? No, this is just for me.
By the way, you got your Halloween costume ready? I'm going as Frank Zappa, 'cause I'm the slime.
Oh, I'm already dressed. I'm wearing the scariest Halloween costume of them all. A record exec.
Oh, so you're the slime. Speaking of which, where's Ashley? She was supposed to be here with the goldfish.
I don't know, you know her. She likes to make a dramatic entrance.
Huh.
That reminds me, I gotta make a Halloween playlist.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
I would play some Black Sabbath, but I did that already.
Well, how about some Frank Zappa records?
Unfortunately, I don't have any on vinyl.
Well, you know, you should really get on that. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me.
Well, what can we do this year that has a Halloween theme to it?
Ah!
What the hell? Who turned the lights out?
A sister of the moon. Hey! You're ruining my dramatic entrance!
Yeah, and who are you supposed to be, Lauren Bobart?
Topical.
Well, since you needed some witchy Halloween theme music, I'm channeling the iconic lead singer of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks.
Technically, there were 3 lead singers of Fleetwood Mac. There was Stevie Nicks, of course. There was also Lindsey Buckingham. And I just saw a video that said the late Christine McVie sang the most.
Yeah, and that's just the Rumours lineup. There was also Danny Kirwan, Bob Welch, Dave Mason and Becca Bramlett were in the band.
Silence, mortals! For this Halloween, we're covering the legendary Fleetwood Mac.
What just happened?
To this day, the band is still loved by even today's generation, going viral on TikTok and, I don't know, whatever else Gen Zers are into. And while it may be true that there were many incarnations of Fleetwood Mac, by far their most famous is the Rumours lineup of Mick Fleetwood on drums, John McVie on bass, hence where the name comes from, Christine McVie on keyboards, Lindsey Buckingham on guitar, and the gold dust woman herself, Stevie Nicks, whose witch-like persona and theatrical stage performances showed that women could also be rock stars.
I like Fleetwood Mac.
Very good. Here, have some goldfish.
Oh.
All right, let's jump right into it. So we're gonna format this like a vinyl record, no longer than 26 minutes aside and 6 bonus tracks at the end. Say one of your stupid puns.
Oh, you can go your own way with this Fleetwood Mac playlist.
No, using one of the songs that Stevie wrote.
Thunder only happens when it's raining. Fleetwood Mac playlists only play when they're playing.
All right, I'll take it. So, Rumours came out in 1977 and it had so many hits.
Whoa. We can't start with Rumours.
Yeah, we usually go in chronological order.
Fair enough. Fleetwood Mac's first album with Buckingham and Nicks came out in 1975.
Listen, if we're going to do a Fleetwood Mac playlist, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning with Mr. Peter Green.
This is supposed to be a Halloween playlist.
Yes, but it just so happens that the first single that Peter Green wrote for Fleetwood Mac was Black Magic Woman.
Got a black magic woman.
Wait, isn't this a Santana song? It's one of their most famous ones.
It was a cover, actually, for Santana. Peter Green was the one who wrote it, and they recorded it first. So, Peter Green, Mick Fleetwood, and John McVie were originally a part of John Mayall's Bluesbreakers. In fact, John was on the same album with Eric Clapton, and Peter took Eric's place when he formed Cream. Together with slide guitarist Jeremy Spencer, the quartet formed their own group and stuck mostly to playing blues. Even Black Magic Woman seems inspired by the Bluesbreakers cover of All Your Love. What really stands out in this performance is Peter's smooth voice and the heavy tone he gets on his guitar. My actual favorite version comes from this album, Live in Boston, but for the purposes of this playlist, we'll include the original single.
I actually like that version too. Especially with the extended jamming. It's very hypnotic, you know?
Okay, I'll admit that song is pretty great. But now we're going to
And
move
as
on.
long as we're talking singles from the Peter Green era, we gotta talk about one of my favorites, Oh Well.
Oh, well, what?
Huh?
Oh, well, what?
I'm telling you the name of the song.
What's the name of the song?
Oh Well.
Oh, well, what? What's the name of the song?
Will you two knock off your lame Abbott and Costello joke and let's get on with it?
In all seriousness, Oh Well is an unforgettable guitar jam featuring recently joined guitarist Danny Kirwan. He and Peter played together in octaves, guitar harmonies, giving the song its own unique identity, stopping only to allow Peter to sing short verses. Initially, Peter wanted to include Part 2 as the A-side, a softer acoustic piece, but they wisely chose to go with the more upbeat song, and it topped the British charts. And in America, it was included on their landmark album, Then Play On.
You know, it's funny, as I was listening to these, and I only know Fleetwood Mac from their stuff on Rumours and a little tiny bit of their 80s stuff, but their earlier stuff has this much heavier blues-inspired sound. It's pretty interesting to see where they started and where they ended up as pop stars.
Okay, now.
Oh, I know what we can include that also has a Halloween vibe. The Green Manalishi with the two-prong crown. It was the last song Peter wrote with Fleetwood Mac, and years later, it would be covered by Judas Priest. Now that's heavy. Even on the original version, the guitars are straight up evil sounding. And I've always wondered what the Green Manalishi meant. Is it about a witch? Maybe a big green dragon? Maybe Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z?
No, it's about money.
Oh.
Money? Like actual money?
Yeah, actual money.
Well, money is quite devilish when you think about it.
Peter was getting very heavily into LSD, and much like Syd Barrett or Brian Wilson, it changed him dramatically. He suddenly started wearing Jesus robes and believed the band should be giving away all their money, one reason Peter would end up leaving Fleetwood Mac.
Actually, this whole story of how he wrote it is pretty intense. Apparently, Peter had an LSD-fueled dream of a green dog visiting him from the afterlife. He had an out-of-body experience and wrote the song when he woke up in a pitch-black room, hence the lyrics, "The night is so black." That is pretty spooky.
Yeah, and I gotta say, having played the song many times, these are some wild guitar parts, totally original. Peter leaving the group cast a shadow over Fleetwood Mac's momentum.
It was like taking the underpinnings out of a bridge, and then suddenly you were faced with a future without Peter.
Though they were able to stay alive with keyboardist Christine McVie, John's wife, joining the group. As I said, they had a number of guitar players come and go. Bob Welch gave them some memorable tunes like Hypnotized and Sentimental Lady, and I can tell you he definitely has a lot of fans in the Fleetwood community. But even he left the group around 1975.
And that's when Mick Fleetwood came across a duo with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks.
I was asked if I wanted to join, and I said sort of politely that Stevie and I were a package deal.
And this would lead to the release of their 1975 self-titled album, which was an unexpected success and would lead to several charting singles.
And one of those singles was Stevie Nicks herself singing...
Oh, actually, this album has one of my favorite songs on it. Say You Love Me by Christine McVie.
That is a great song,
Yeah.
and it almost cracked the top 10 in America.
Oh.
To be serious for a second, I do feel Stevie Nicks' success kind of overshadows how crucial Christine was to this band. Even before this album, she was writing some bangers. But Say You Love Me is just a well-crafted country rock song.
And those harmonies are so good. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were already known for their unique blend. It's weird that Lindsey's voice is so high and Stevie's is so low, but they just started singing on top of Christine's melody, and the majestic singing trio was cemented.
Also, props to Lindsey's guitar playing, banjo playing as well, which really complements Christine's sparkling piano.
Okay, listen. If you two don't start talking about Stevie Nicks right now, I'm going to cast you two into an eternal lake of fire from which you will never return.
So, another hit single from this album was Rhiannon, written by Stevie Nicks.
This was the song that made Stevie Nicks a rock star.
This is a song about an old Welsh witch.
She says she read the name in a novel called Triad, where a woman is possessed by a witch named Rhiannon.
I thought, that's a really beautiful name. Sat down, about 10 minutes later, wrote Rhiannon.
Well, your life, you've never seen a woman taken by the way.
The are very poetic, symbolizing that free spirit state of mind of the 70s with a fantastical element. Of course, that's not to take away from what the rest of the band is doing. Mick and John's groove is very quirky, adding to the unworldly nature of the song. Christine sprinkles some textures with her Fender Rhodes, and the minute you hear Lindsey's guitar riff, whew, you know what song it is.
Speaking of live, as iconic as the studio rendition is, this song really came to life when they performed it on stage. I was never that crazy about Rhiannon until I saw their performance of it on the Midnight Special. Stevie's voice has a bit more of a Janisy vibe to it, and both Lindsey and Christine get a chance to rock some solos. I actually didn't realize how virtuosic a player Christine was until I started checking out their live shows.
And Stevie would cast another spell for this album with the timeless classic, Landslide.
Okay, so aside from fire, do you know any other spells? Do you know like blizzard, thunder, maybe the Kamehameha? How about lumpy gravy?
What the hell are you talking about?
What?
I'm a fire user, which means I know things like flare and fire spin, dragon breath, a bunch of other things.
Ooh, you mean, do you know Omega Flare?
Of course I know Omega Flare, but I mean to be equipped with blue rock, which obviously I don't have at the moment, so I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I also can do triple tech, but...
Okay, you... Nice. Okay.
Landslide remains one of Fleetwood Mac's most loved tunes, and has been covered by so many other artists, notably the Dixie Chicks, who had a hit with it in 2002. It was written before Stevie joined Fleetwood Mac while re-evaluating her life and her relationship with Lindsey in Aspen, Colorado.
I took my guitar and I sat down in the living room looking out at the snow-covered mountains.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time is bolder, even children get older. I'm getting older too.
It's very impressive that Stevie can sing those low notes, like she's reaching down deep to reveal all of her personal emotions.
One of the things that makes the song so unique is Lindsey's fingerpicking style. Lindsey almost made it his personal life's mission to almost never use a pick, outside of a few fleeting moments.
Mick tried to get me to start using a pick, and it wasn't going to happen.
In fact, part of the reason I started my own Fleetwood Mac show was to really dissect his fingerpicking style. His Travis picking is nothing new, but it's like each one of his fingers is playing their own distinct pattern of notes that culminate in a beautifully complex guitar riff. There's other more impressive examples of this on songs like Never Going Back Again or Big Love, but here he leaves enough space for Stevie's vocal to really shine, and it shows why, despite their animosity over the years, they really were a great songwriting team.
The 1975 album was a surprise success, but they were just getting started. So let's talk about the Fleetwood Mac album, Rumours.
And for me, one of their best songs is the lead-off track by Lindsey Buckingham, Secondhand News. As much as Stevie gets the lion's share of the praise, Lindsey Buckingham was really the driving force behind Rumours, to the point where he'd get into arguments with John McVie over what the bass lines should be. Secondhand News comes out swinging with a catchy guitar hook. It's no big secret that Lindsey is singing about his breakup with Stevie, which was happening while they were recording this album. Nevertheless, there's a certain tongue-in-cheek vibe to his words, not to mention that scat chorus in the middle of the song that I love so much.
Rumours has often been referred to as a rock soap opera, with Stevie and Lindsey writing songs to each other, Christine writing about her divorce from John. Even Mick's private divorce is hinted at.
I think it was John that suggested the name Rumours, because we were writing sort of journals and diaries about one another.
So it only makes sense to start side 2 of this playlist with Stevie's answer to Secondhand News, Dreams. I know it's overplayed, but there is a reason for that. The first time I ever heard Dreams, I thought it was so catchy, I played it over and over again. Honestly, to the point of exhaustion. On one recording day, Stevie had escaped to Sly Stone's studio, started playing piano, and just came up with the song on the spot.
And I knew when I wrote it that it was really special.
It's weird to think her ex-boyfriend, of which the song is specifically about, would want anything to do with it. But it was Lindsey Buckingham who helped come up with the arrangement. Despite being a breakup song, There is something very healing about the way she sings, "When the rain washes you clean, you'll know." I really love that line.
Yeah, Dreams was obviously influenced by the disco movement, which was fast dominating the charts at the time.
I would put on the disco outfit, but this mustache took forever to get on. I'm not gonna bother.
But it is still its own thing. The repeating rhythm is very hypnotic, and credit to Ken Callett and Richard Deschott, whose production is very seductive sounding. Though for my money, Lindsey wrote one of the most recognizable classic rock choruses with Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way.
It's almost impossible not to recognize it. The harmonies, John McVie playing one of his best bass riffs.
That bass grooves so hard.
And Lindsey's vocal is so dynamic. It's obviously another song directed at Stevie, the first he wrote for the album, but this is just pure anger.
Yeah, maybe too much anger. Stevie would reveal that she was really offended by the line, "Shacking up's all you want to do." She wasn't shacking up with anybody.
Well, she did sleep with Mick Fleetwood.
You slept with Mick Fleetwood.
Well, whoever's in the right here, Go Your Own Way is still my favorite song from Rumours, and it ends with a burning guitar solo from Lindsey, spliced together from multiple takes. Again, because of his unconventional frailing, it really differentiates his touch to the great guitar heroes of the 70s.
But we really should give props to Christine, who had a couple of singles off of Rumours.
There was Don't Stop.
Yeah, but Don't Stop's been a bit overplayed.
Yeah, besides, to me, the standout is her second single, You Make Lovin' Fun.
Oh yeah. And unlike Don't Stop, which was written for John, this one was apparently written about her affair with Fleetwood Mac's lighting director.
For obvious reasons, since he was our lighting director, who was not welcome in the studio.
Can the environment get any more tense?
I've always been intrigued by the musical elements of Make Loving Fun. It's another disco-inspired beat, the Fender Rhodes riff is more blues-based, that clav overdub gives it a funky feel, and Christine's vocal is... I don't know what to call her vocal, it's so unique.
It is really unique.
Very unique.
And completely different to Stevie's unmistakable vibrato and tone. Christine sings a bit deeper, but still soulful and smooth. Also, it's possible she was influenced lyrically by Stevie's more whimsical style when she sings, "I never did believe in the ways of magic, but I'm beginning to wonder why."
And I would say this includes some of Lindsey's best guitar licks on the album. They're so tasty, and him and Chris are just joined at the hip musically.
Ironically, they were the two members of the band that didn't sleep together.
As far as we know.
You know, in making this playlist, we didn't want to just include every song from Rumours, hard as that may be. But the one song we can't leave off is The Chain.
Ooh.
The Chain has that reaction.
Now, this is actually the only song on the album that's credited to all 5 band members.
Well, that's because it really did chain together several musical ideas. The meat of the track mainly comes from one of Christine's called Keep Me There, which has been released on the deluxe edition of Rumours, and it's a pretty banging song in its own right, especially when it goes into that breakdown with John McVie's bass. Another one of the most iconic bass lines in rock history, followed by another amazing solo from Lindsey, all recorded live in the studio.
But the verses came from Lindsey's guitar, sounding a bit like a song from their Buckingham Nicks album, called Lola My Love.
And Stevie had some lyrics that seemed to match Christine's chords, obviously dealing with the heartache of their breakup again.
And when the three of them sing their harmonies together, it's just pure magic.
Of course it is.
There is something uplifting about this song when thinking about Fleetwood Mac's breakups, like the music itself is the chain that keeps them together.
And they would stay together for many more albums.
Though they definitely raised some eyebrows with their 1979 double album, Tusk. Lindsey almost went out of his way to make this album as different from Rumours as possible, taking influence from the punk movement. And while I really respect this album for not just repeating the success of Rumours, it's not an album I listen to often.
That may be true, but the title track is definitely one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac songs. Tusk is a very ambitious piece and a clear standout of the album. Written by Lindsey, it actually started out as a riff they played during soundcheck and evolved during the making of the record. There's not much to the lyrics, it's another breakup song, probably about Stevie's affair with Mick. But it's really the drums and the inclusion of the USC marching band that really makes this track stand out.
Yeah, but you two dudes do know what the word tusk is supposed to entail, right?
I do.
Yeah, it's another member of the band.
Yeah, Tusk.
Real savage like. So what do you want the final song to be?
Well, I insist on ending with a Stevie song. So let's step into the 80s and listen to Gypsy, the clear standout from their 1982 album, Mirage. And lyrically, there's a lot going on here. It brings Stevie back to the time before Fleetwood Mac, when she was so poor that she and Lindsey couldn't even afford a bed frame for their mattress and slept on the floor. After the immense success of Rumours, Stevie felt like humbling herself by taking the mattress off her hotel bed and reconnecting with her roots.
Back to the gypsy that she was.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
On a more tragic note, the song was dedicated to her childhood friend Robin Snyder, who died from leukemia shortly after her solo album Belladonna came out. Stevie took it really hard, especially knowing Robin had given premature birth days before her death. Stevie even married Robin's grieving husband for the child's sake, which didn't last.
Well, I can definitely hear that when she sings, I still see your bright eyes.
You know, Halloween's pagan roots revolved around celebrating the afterlife, when the door to the netherworld opened, allowing all souls to enter. And appropriately, as Stevie sings for her late friend, there is something hauntingly beautiful about Gypsy.
And Lindsey's solo is just so good.
Well, that's the playlist. Now it's time to cast 6 spells of bonus tracks.
Well, I'm including another Peter Green song.
Of course you are.
I mean, I could still include so many more. Need Your Love So Bad, Man of the World, but we share a common love of the heavy blues original, Rattlesnake Shake.
Oh, definitely. And apparently Peter wrote it for Mick Fleetwood, who hadn't gotten any action for about 2 years and instead had to, well, you know, shake his rattlesnake.
Ugh, what is it with you boys and these phallic titles? All right, we're moving on to the next one. Shh.
Getting back to Lindsey, one of his timeless contributions from the 75 album is I'm So Afraid.
Okay, that keeps in line with the Halloween theme.
Yeah, but it's not actually the studio rendition I want to include. It's a live version from their subsequent tour. Lindsey and Stevie would harmonize together, although as time went on she sang less and less. And Lindsey would play a dynamic solo at the end. It's so emotional. I love this rendition from Santa Barbara in 1976. But the version from Passaic, New Jersey, included on the deluxe edition of the 75 album, is good too, so that's the one I'll add to the list.
Another one from Rumours is Christine's Songbird. This is a beautiful song with a soulful piano, which was actually recorded at the Berkeley Community Theater. While other songs might have been written for her ex-husband, the lyrics really seemed to be about universal love, and they would often end their live shows with it. After Christine passed, the song took on a new meaning as a tribute to her. We heavily considered it for the main list, but I think it's fine as a bonus track.
As is Stevie Nicks' other masterpiece from Rumours, Gold Dust Woman. And just to get this out of the way, yes, it's about cocaine, which might as well have been the 6th member of the band when recording the album, but there's also great Halloween imagery in here as well. Black Widow, Shadow of a Dragon, and some primal screams heard at the end, which I think was very therapeutic in helping Stevie get through this very difficult time.
Well, we haven't included anything from their 1987 album, Tango in the Night.
Well, Christine's Everywhere has become a new earworm for everyone who heard it in the car commercial.
Yeah, but my choice would be her other hit from the album, Little Eyes.
Oh, I like that one.
Now, full disclosure on my end, I legit did not know this was a Fleetwood Mac song until we started working on this playlist. Nonetheless, it is very catchy.
It was co-written by her then-husband, Eddie Quintella, and no, Christine has said the song is not based on their relationship. As always, Christine's melody is unique, though the production is very 80s with DX7 keyboard sounds, and apparently they recorded instruments at half speed to make it all sound brighter.
Also, Stevie's involvement was limited, and some of her backup vocals had to be replaced or manipulated with a Fairlight synthesizer. But the end result was an unforgettable pop rock song that really shows off how brilliant a songwriter Christine McVie is. But just so we can close out with another witchy song for the Halloween season, here's another one from Tusk called Sisters of the Moon. Though Stevie has said there's not much deep meaning behind the song outside of maybe stepping into this alter ego of hers. But you do have to give Lindsey and the whole band credit for making a really heavy rock beat behind her intense vocals.
Well, if we're going to include the song, we should include the live version from their '82 Mirage tour. It gets even more intense with Stevie adding a third verse and really letting loose vocally with some gnarly rock vocal licks.
I know for many fans, when they think of rock music for the Halloween season, groups like Black Sabbath or AC/DC come to mind. But I'd definitely put Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, even Peter Green in that tradition as well. The way Stevie especially brought this witch vibe to rock and roll is very inspiring to all generations of rock lovers.
As always, there's a link to this playlist in the description below.
What are your favorite Fleetwood Mac songs? And seriously, tell him to do a Frank Zappa playlist next. You know who you are. You are what you is. You is what you am. A cow don't make ham.
Pretty good Halloween playlist, huh?
You know what? I think our guests are really going to enjoy it. Speaking of which, they should be arriving right now.
I don't think anyone's showing up.
Damn algorithm.